Here at Nkosi Talk Shows, Find Your Own Voice, Lead from Within. So with me today, I'm with Amanda Murray. How are you, Amanda?
I'm good. It's bright and early here in Calgary.
Your mic is still very low. Not sure why.
Good. It's bright and here early here in Calgary.
Okay, when you lean forward, it is better.
Okay. I just wasn't speaking very loud, so
Okay. So the topic today is discover the truth about dating in a world that constantly lies. What does God say? So welcome today to Ngosi Talk Shows, guys. We live in a world where dating advice comes from social media, it comes from celebrity influencers, it comes from friends and popular cultures. Every day we are told to follow our feelings, settle for less, chase attention, normalize a casual relationship, or make love about convenience instead of commitment. So this message can leave people confused, heartbroken, and far from God, originally designed for relationship. But what if the world advice is not the truth? God, the creator of love, relationship, marriage, and family, has already given us timeless wisdom. His word teaches us that love is patient, pure, faithful, sacrificial, but built on truth, not deception. When we choose God's way, we protect our heart, honor Him, and build a relationship with foundation that can stand through every season of life. And also, even ourselves in our heart, we know what is truth. We know what is not real. So when you do what follow your heart and follow what your intuition tells you, you will avoid heartbreak and prepare yourself for a greater future ahead of you. So, Amanda, what do you think about this topic?
I was saying to you before the show that I struggle a little bit with the dating ones because I don't really date people. And that I just recently met someone that I met through a friend. But that I do definitely find it hard to be in a world of like constant like one thing says one thing, another thing says another thing, and you're like, how do I even where do I even start with this? And so I definitely think it's an important topic to think about. And one of the things that I know for myself is I've just been on this like journey of healing ever since I got divorced, and then I've dated here and there, but usually always like trying to be really, really conscious of what it is that I'm looking for and how I want to show up in the world and how the type of people that I want to attract into my world. And so that's something that I think is really important, is really like starting with yourself first, and then really being conscious of who you're allowing into your life.
I'm testing my audio because I can't hear you.
Let me
I'm not sure, but when you're talking, when I'm listening to you on YouTube, you're very loud.
Okay,
So I don't know why I can't hear you.
I'm not sure. So yeah, I just said that we really need to start with yourself first, and and to really be conscious of the type of people that you're letting into your life.
Okay. Well, can can you speak, Amanda?
Yeah,
Hello? Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. Okay, we're still
Now,
live, so we should keep
now I
going.
can hear you.
Okay. So I think when you look into dating in a world that constantly lies, like you were saying on social media, there one person's life could look like all wonderful and fantastic, and that's not the reality of it. And I remember one time, like quite a few years ago, probably about 10 years ago now, one of my girlfriends and I, we were at a market, and this girl was like spewing all of this mindfulness stuff and how she, and I was like, oh wow, like that girl seems like she's really got it together and knows what she wants. And my one girlfriend, after we left, she goes, because she had like a bunch of followers on social media too, and claimed to be this like very pure mindful person that was focusing on her health. And we left, and my one girlfriend's like, that girl is a coke addict. She's like on her social media, she's this like guru of like health, and she's like in reality she's a coke addict. And so I just laughed so hard because it was like the perception versus the reality or something completely different. And only because I knew someone who knew her well did I find that out. And if you watched her social media or whatever, you'd assume that she was like this leader in health and wellness, and the reality was completely different. And so I think sometimes when we're watching things on social media, we really have to be conscious of, is that how they show up authentically? And if it isn't, probably eventually the truth will come out. But I think that's something that is so hard to navigate. And as a teacher, navigating the difference between like what is the truth, and not even in dating, just in the world of news and stuff, you always have to look at like two sides and then believe that the truth is probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, there's what you're saying, it makes sense, Amanda. There's a girl on TikTok. She has a big following. She spent all her content is about giving advice to people not to get married because she believes that marriage is not real and this. And then she showed up one day, she's engaged. So I can see people going mad. So I was like, they're doing it for followers. So I think, but what she had done is she had these young girls that were following her and that were her role model. They were looking up to her as a role model. So I think they got confused now that you're telling us you're now engaged to a rich guy. So where's the truth with the content here? Because you have spent all your time telling us not to get married, not to do this, not to do this. But I think everything it comes down to the reality is you have to understand beginning with God, like myself, I'm beginning with God, not dating, because this world's message is to find someone who completes you. But God's message is to seek Him first before looking for relationship. Develop relationship with God. When God is your foundation, your identity does not depend on other person. Even those who don't believe in God, at the same time, you have to find yourself within your heart. You have to love yourself first, complete, feel complete with your life, because no one can enter your life and complete you. I think when I was young, I used to think one day I'm going to get married and my life is going to feel, I'm going to get a good job, get married, earn good money, have children, and my life will be complete. But then I realized that actually I have to complete me. And then the person that enters my life, we have to enjoy that life together, not them completing me. So, but I used to think, oh, this person will enter, then my life will feel so complete. But now I realize that no, I have to, it's all about me. My world is my world. The person who enter my world, if they don't fit into my world, I'm not going to try to force it. So I'm going to release them and let them go. But if they fit into my world, they are happy, that's okay. So I think dating is just all about understanding what love is. Um, I was looking at my daughter the other day, and I said to myself, and I listened to other children talking, and I was like, children are so pure, they are so honest, they are so innocent. Because if you are wearing something that is hilarious or hideous and you ask a child, they're not going to tell you, oh, Amanda, you look great. They'll be like, Amanda, you look hideous. But if you ask an adult, because they don't like a confrontation, they lie. So I think it's a relationship is about being truthful. Just be truthful to yourself. What do you think, Amanda?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is that self-digging piece of like what it is that you are really looking for, and to not settle for anything less, right? And I know I had one friend be like a while ago being like, you're not going to get everything that you want, Amanda. And I was like, I know that, but I still think that you should look for like really good qualities in someone, and that they're going to like show up. And I always believe that that quote of what's meant for you will
It's for you.
is
Will
for
show
you.
up. Yeah, and it will show up.
It will show up, and it will be there. And I'm not saying that it'll be easy and that life will just be like a fairy tale once that happens, but what's meant for you won't pass you by. And I always try to be really grounded in that, and know that whatever is meant for me won't pass me by. And I think that's something that's really important for you too. And anything else that happens along the way is probably a lesson. It's a lesson in um, learning about yourself. And if you don't learn those lessons, then you repeat those same patterns. And so I think that whatever it is that you're going through, I honestly believe sometimes too, when you're dating, it's like you're sending out to the world like a view of like lack in some capacity, and that if you just show up authentically who you are, doing things that you really like, surrounding yourself with wonderful people, eventually you'll meet someone naturally. And I know it's really hard, especially in today's world where it seems like the only place you can meet someone is on a dating app. And I don't think that's true. I think you can meet really wonderful people in real life, but you have to put yourself out there. And whether it's like joining groups on Facebook for like hiking, or I hear paddleboarding is really popular. So hiking or paddleboarding, or join a soccer team or something, where football for you guys, but join something that's going to get you out there so that you're meeting new people. Because if you just continue to surround yourself with the same people, you're not going to meet new people, right? And so I think meeting new people is something that's really, really important. And that if you put yourself out there, you never know who you're going to meet and who's going to show up in your life.
I think, Amanda, I like it the way when you say your friend said you're not going to get a man with everything that you're looking for.
Yeah.
That I think your friend was showing you that she had to settle for less for herself, the
Mm-hmm.
life that she was living. Because if you are patient and then you know exactly what you want, you might not get a perfect, because there's no such thing as a perfect person, but
Mm-hmm.
you will get to someone that you actually manifesting in your heart, because that's what God is. You get someone that you say, okay, this is the kind of person that I'm looking for based on what you've been through in your life. And it's telling yourself that I'm not going to settle for less. I need a man that is going to honor me. I have a child. I need a man that is going to respect my child. And you're not looking for a father for your child, but you're looking for that person. Like my mom married to my stepdad. My stepdad was like my best friend. So you don't really, to me, he was everything that my mom wanted, because you want someone that accepts you for you with your children, not someone that is just completely going to mistreat you, disrespect you. So for me, I would say every audience that is watching, when you manifest something, it will always come to pass. Whatever you desire, because God delivers. He's not a liar. He delivers. Even if you don't believe in Him or you don't believe, God is the universe, He's the creator of the earth. So when you're saying, this is what I want, and I'm not going to settle for less. I need these qualities from a man, and also you work on those qualities and make sure you align. Is the alignment. I align with these qualities, but now I'm looking for this person, and I'm not gonna go and just pick for some dude and just because I need to take pictures and put them on social media for people to say, oh, she's got a good looking guy, or no, I need a guy that will complement indoors, closed doors, and outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you, Amanda, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really important is to get out and be your authentic self. I think that's part of just really showing up. I think when we look at just like a world that constantly lies, I think that's also like a perception that you're throwing out there to the world. And if you believe that the world constantly lies, then that's what you're going to keep seeing show up
Yeah.
over and over again. But if you believe that most people in the world are truly authentic, wonderful people, then more of those truly wonderful, authentic people will show up in their lives. And I think that's something that people that view people it's people's perspective, right? You could view something as lying, or you could view the world as like in a whole as like everything good that's meant for me is coming to me. And if you keep telling yourself that, eventually it will show up, right? Or if your worldview is that all these hard things are happening to me and that's all you can see, that you can't see the good in your life, then more of those bad things are going to show up. It's about perspective. It's about what we choose to focus on. And what we choose to focus on shows up for us. And so that I think so much about dating you can put out into the rest of the world too, because dating you is about all of you. it's it's encompassing everything that you show up as. And so it's about your perspective on so many different areas, because when you're meeting someone and you're getting to know them, you're learning about their perspectives on so many different things, their perspectives on politics, their perspectives on education, their perspectives on the legal system, their perspectives on global events. So if there's somebody who's really negative, they're going to just constantly like bring you down because it's going to be like everything's horrible, right? But if you look at it as like there's all these good things that are happening in the world, and I can see people doing really good things, and I know that there's people out there doing really good things to help and be caring and compassionate for other people, you're going to see more of that show up in the world. And so I think that's something that we always have to be conscious of is what perspective are we putting out into the world? And then that's what's being reflected back to us. And so if you're dating and you're really wanting somebody, but your view is that everybody constantly lies, then you're going to keep getting people who are constantly lying to you. But if you put out into the world that most people are really great people and most people are going to show up and most people are just struggling with their own stuff. Everybody's got their own like dumpster fire of things, but like they're doing the best they can with what they have. And most people are really trying to work on being a better version of themselves. Then those are the type of people that are going to keep showing up in your life. And so much of dating or other aspects of your life, I really truly think are about how you're showing up authentically in your world.
Yeah, that's true. I actually agree, Amanda, because if you see this world as a better place, and like the way like what I was saying before, that it's all about what you desire in your heart. For me, I believe that wherever I've been, where I've walked, and the people that I've met in my life, I've always manifested good people in my life. And I always believe that whatever you desire, God delivers. He might take his time, he might go on holiday and go quiet. But all I know is when you see the world, like he said, you see the world as authentic, and the people that show up in that world, they are authentic. You will meet the right people. That's my belief too, that of course in this world there are people who are not right. um, it wouldn't be exciting world if everybody was good. But I think we have to learn lessons from meeting bad people. But at the same time, what we are attracts what we want, what we desire in life. So if we are aligned with our desires, we will meet our desires. No one is perfect, but you'll meet that person that aligns with what you are looking for. And also at the end of the day, it's all about knowing your identity. Your worth comes from being created in God's image, not from someone's attention or affection. A healthy relationship begins when you truly understand that you are already loved, loved by God and loved by the world, and understanding that I'm not trying to fit into the world. Everywhere I walk, I'm walking with grace and knowing that I am loved. Those who are walking in my path, if they don't love me, they disrespect me, they reject me, is their own problems. Because for me, I used to think when I get rejected, I used to think actually there is something, I used to think there was something wrong with me. But now I'm realizing, like you are saying, Amanda, that people are working on, we live in this world where everyone has their own issues, and some they figure themselves out, they are fixing them every each day. They are walking in this path unapologetic, knowing who they are and loving the life that they have, and having gratitude, and asking more from God and from the universe. So but some, they feel the world is against them, but that's okay. Over to you.
Yeah, you're right. That person that feels like the world is against them is going to see more of that world against them things show up. And I don't know if you've read anything by Dr. Joe Dispenza, but so much of what we attract into our lives, and he's done, it's called The Placebo Effect is one of his books, and it talks about how you're the placebo, like what you believe about yourself is what's going to keep showing up for you. And so believing that true belief and vibration of like really good things are happening to me, more of that really good, those really good things are going to keep showing up for you. And so I think that you, so much of dating and what's coming into your life really is about your mindset. And that's about your mindset in business, it's about your mindset in self-development, it's about your mindset in dating and relationships. And your mindset really really does affect all areas. And so how is that mindset affecting you and showing up for you? And when you're going out into the world, you're going to attract more of whatever it is that you're putting out. So I don't know if you've read anything or listened to any of Louise Hay's stuff, but she always says what you put out comes back to you. And so if you, when you when you're putting out good, more good will come back, right? And so I don't know if you've ever had an experience like that where you put out something good and more good comes back to you. I know for myself, when I was in a car accident about 3 years ago, and in quite a bit of pain when it first happened, and every day after work I'd come home on the couch, and I just lay on the couch and close my eyes because it's like so noisy in my classroom, and I was struggling with my back, and I just be like, something good is going to come out of this. Something good is going to come out of this. I meant to have this experience so that something good eventually will happen. And then something eventually good did happen because I got a settlement from it. And now my daughter and I get to go to Greece this summer because I got that settlement money and I'm taking some of that settlement money and going on a trip. And as a single mom, not very many kids get to go on a trip to Greece because I'm a single mom, there's not a lot of extra money around, right? And so just that was 3 years ago when that happened. And the whole time I was like, something good's going to come out of this. Something good is going to come out of this. And the interesting thing about that is at first the insurance company offered me like $8,000. And if I didn't know my one girlfriend who's in insurance, she was like, "You're not taking that." And I'm like, "Well, why not? Like, that seems really great. Like, $8,000 is awesome." And she's like, "Oh, no, no. Based on your injuries, you should be getting this much, and you're not going to get, and if they don't offer you this, then you're going to use this lawyer." And so that's eventually what I did. And I ended up getting more even than what she originally said, all because I just listened to my one friend who is in insurance. And if this had happened 10 years ago, I wouldn't have known her. So I would have just accepted the 8 grand and been like, "Oh, wow, that's
It's
awesome."
a lot of money. You would have thought it's a lot of money.
I
Yeah.
would have thought it was a lot of money. And instead, by listening to her and knowing her so well, she literally would just like write the responses back to the insurance company because she knows that industry. And so that was like another thing where just like whatever's meant for me is going to happen and only good things are coming to me. It was something that was really, really important to keep telling myself. And then it did. And it's wonderful. And something really wonderful did happen. Took a few years, but it happened still. And sometimes I think it's like that. You just have to not lose faith in the fact that something really great is coming.
Yeah, you just have to believe. For me, I believe in miracle. I believe that God does what he say he will do as long as in your heart. If you are manifesting for a good man or a good woman, I believe that that person will always come to pass as long as you're willing, as long as you are actually aligning with that energy. So you can't ask for what you are not. So you have to be check your character, check everything, and make sure that your character aligns with that. And whatever, whether it's business or whatsoever, it's all about believing, not letting people talk you out. And what I've noticed is that people, you see, like what your friend said to you, that Amanda, you're not gonna get what you actually desire in life when it comes to men. You could have easily started doubting yourself
Mhm.
and started going for some hooji guys, any guy that comes along. But because you had boundaries that you have set in your heart that I'm not going to tolerate this kind of men in my life. This is the kind of men that I am searching for. And until when that guy is not has not come along, I will wait. So you made a decision that I will wait because your heart knows that that guy exists.
Mhm.
Yeah, he exists. That woman, that man you're searching for, he exists. But the problem is men are after boobies. When you have boobies, nice, good looking, nice bum, that's
Mhm.
what they go for most of men. But there are some men who just make it a ground and say, I need a good woman, a woman that is going to respect me, respect my family, respect everything about my life and my understand my boundaries and things like that and my values and everything. But you knew in your heart that no, that guy exists out there. Most of the time people get destroyed by other people. Me, people leave me because they try to change me and I don't get involved. If you want to be my friends, you will help me and guide me through life and not tell me my dreams are too big and just
Mhm.
with me. And even when I fail, it's okay for me to fail.
Mhm.
Nothing is perfect in this world. So I think for me, I admire people like you who believes in what you stand for. You have to believe it, and it always come to pass.
Yeah. Yeah, I think eventually it really does, right? And one of the things I think about um too is if you're dating someone and I've done this before where I'm like, I know this person isn't my person, but I'm bored. So it's like maybe I'll just date them for a little bit because like
Body.
and they're like not a horrible person, they're a really nice person, but then too, eventually you get to a point where it's like, well, I know this person isn't my person and we've had fun together, but also if I just continue to hang out with you, then I'm blocking whoever is
Yeah,
actually meant to show up in my life. And
coming
so
my
that's the
way.
part where I think that people really don't understand is if you are putting out energy to like be with someone and they're like a good person and they're kind and you have a good friendship and you're like, oh, this is okay for now. And I've done that before and I've been like, this is okay for now. But then I get to the point where I'm like, this isn't what I'm looking for. I know this isn't what I'm looking for. I knew from the very beginning this wasn't what I was looking for, but I was just bored and I let my one girlfriend be like, just go have a summer fling that lasts a year and a half. Because it was like I'd been single for a really long time and one of the things that I learned through that was too like if you're putting out energy to one person then you're stopping that other person from showing up in your life because you're still putting out energy into something that you know isn't 100% right for you. And that's the part where it's like, oh, that's where I think so many of us are so afraid to be on our own. And you when you can be completely on your own in that respect to be really like grounded in what it is that you're looking for, that's when things start to shift and change. And it might take a while, it might take 2 or 3 years, but eventually you'll be in the right space and that other person will be in the right space that they'll show up in whatever shape or form they're meant to in whatever it is that's meant to draw you closer together so that you can be together. But I do think that it really does take a while and not necessarily even I know someone who broke up with somebody and then like a week later met their person, right? But if they hadn't broken up, they wouldn't have met their person a week later. So it's always everybody's journey is different. And I think that's something that we really need to be aware of as well, is that our journeys are going to be very different and how we show up is going to be different. And those lessons that we learn along the way, they're all going to be different. And that's okay. What is true for you in your experience might be very different for me in my experience. And even if we had very similar experiences, we're going to perceive those experiences differently.
I like that, Amanda, when you say when you date someone for fling, you're blocking good energy, good people coming your way. Because people say, oh, I'm okay to have fun. But if you're having fun and then with that person, they're standing in the way of something good that could come along. And also, you mentioned that being scared of being on your own as well. That's one other thing that makes people date the wrong guys or the wrong women. I think you have to feel comfortable being on your own.
Mhm.
Because if you are not comfortable being on your own, if even when you date somebody, you're gonna cling on them. So it means that there's trauma that you still need to deal with if you cannot be on your own. For me, I had to learn to be on my own. And I had to learn to be, if I'm with someone, I'm okay, that's fine. That's the path where God wants me to go. But if I'm on my own, oh my goodness, having the house by myself, do you know what it feels when you want to go to the toilet and someone is in the toilet? And you want to go kitchen and someone is in the kitchen? If I could have a chance having the house on my own, I'll still be a happy Nomsa. Honestly, I'll still be happy on my own. So I think people needs to understand that how we were created, we are more than what we think. We are very intelligent. We are very, very, God created us with gave us intelligence. We have this intelligence that is an unending. If we wanted to actually tap into it and get to know it and become who God wants us to become, instead of like some people, when they get married, the husband it becomes a dream, or when they get married, the wife it becomes a dream, a goal. And when that relationship does not work, then they don't know what to do about themselves. They go into depression and things like that. But imagine you yourself, Amanda, you are with your daughter, you've been happy, you split up with your ex since lockdown, and you've been very happy. And you are like, every time you speak, you're like, I'm not going to settle for less.
Mhm.
And which is good. Know who you are, your identity, and also the pain that we go through in life. That pain is meant to help us to do things differently, not to say we are not good enough. But like you said, how we translate things, the pain is meant to say, okay, this is what I've been through. Moving forward, I ain't gonna tolerate no nonsense.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's really important, right? Is that like what are your boundaries and how are you going to set those boundaries up and how are you going to look for someone who has like those qualities that you're really looking for? And not that you have to have a checklist, but also like how do people authentically show up? I think that's something that's so important. And to just be aware of like people put their best foot forward in the very beginning, but part of relationships too is learning how to navigate the hard. And sometimes navigating the hard shows up right at the beginning too, where it's like, oh, there's some really hard stuff here that we have to navigate. And are you the type of person that I'm going to want to navigate this with? And seeing how people show up when things are hard, right? Because people can put their best foot forward when things are easy. But it's you see somebody's authentic self when they show up when things are difficult. And so when things are difficult, when you see people at their worst, my daughter loves this one song, and in one of the lines in the song says, find someone who grows flowers in the darkest parts of you. And I think that's such an important line. And I can't remember who wrote the song or what song it is. I think it's a country song, actually. But I think that's such a powerful message, is to find someone who grows flowers in the darkest parts of you. Because that's what you really need. You can show up as your like great, bubbly, wonderful self. But if you're internally struggling and no one ever sees that internal struggle, you're hiding that piece of yourself, right? And so many people hide that piece of themselves because they're afraid that they're not good enough, or they're afraid that if somebody sees that dark part of you, they won't love you anymore. And I think that's the complete opposite of the truth, is when you can show up vulnerable, and when you are vulnerable in life, that's when you truly can authentically be yourself. And the like best friends that I have, that I've surrounded myself with, they know the darkest parts and they're still here. And I think that's something that's really important too, like being able to show your struggles and not always just put on a brave face, and know that 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 person's not going to judge you or look at you differently and step up, right? That's what the type of person that you want to bring into your life is someone who can see the darkness and be like, it's okay. I'm gonna sit here in this dumpster fire with you and we'll figure our way out of it together. I think that's the type of person that you really want in your life, not someone that just shows up and
When things gets tough, there you become the bad person.
yeah, they run away.
I um I actually 100% agree with you, Amanda. For me, I believe that, like the way you're saying that when you are in a darkest place, when someone says they love you, is that moment when you see who truly this person is. Because when life it does not make sense, when healthy, when your health changes or whatsoever, this is when you, like myself, when I was going through human blood sacrifice, the only person that showed up to me to say, I'm here for you, I am your light, I bring light, I bring sense to you, it was God and my mom and the people that I did not know, the strangers that appeared to help me. But those that I knew in that moment, that I called a family, friends, some of them were not there. And until they appeared when I was okay. But then I asked myself, and I was like, if you are my friend or if you are the person that you say you are, why do I have to go through darkest moment of my life without you? And you come back when there is light. So I had to choose me. I came to a moment where unapologetic, I'm choosing me with God. And I know my mom, she's always gonna be there anyway. She's my mom, but I had to like choose me. So I completely, because I during during lockdown, and also sometimes when I talk to clients, they say, "Oh, Nomsa, I had to, things went bad with my husband, my ex, when financial changed, when our finances changed in relationship, in our lives, and when this is." So I'm thinking, why does love has to be light when there's light? So everybody that I'm talking to, when things went dark, the relationship went dark. So I'm thinking, where is true love? But now, when you speak to generational, like older generation people who have been married for 40 years, 20, 50 years, or 60 years, all they tell you that there were so many darkest moments in our lives, but we had to hold on to each other. But our generation, when you wrap a present for your birthday, for birthdays, present is ready and to be given to you. We want that kind of a relationship that is already ready. He has no problems. We just want to go with smooth, go out, enjoy life. We don't want no problems. When problems appear, he's the wrong guy. It's like, why do I have to put up? People don't know what's being human is. Being human is you have to go through pain in order to. God had to go through pain um, to actually for us to be free on earth. He had to die for our own lives. He died so we can be free. So life it will present things that you don't want in your life. But the truth is it's in those moments where you are like, does this person, are they who they say they are? And this, then you know that this person is not for me or they are for me.
I think that's just it, right? Is do you want somebody that's going to show up for you? Because that's that part, right? Is who shows up, like you said, who showed up for you when things were hard. That part is the biggest and most important thing is who's going to be there when you're struggling. It's easy to be there for people when things are easy, and it's not so easy to be there for people when things aren't as easy. And so I think that's something that's really, really important. And I think that the dating world sometimes is a scary place, especially for somebody who's been single for a really long time. And I really truly believe that so much of attracting that person in is that you have to become the best version of yourself. And how are you showing up in that to be that best version of yourself? And when you are being that best version of yourself, someone will probably show up authentically in your life, and that will help guide you along the way, right? Sometimes I think people, and I know even for myself, when I have gone on dating sites, it was from a sense of lack. It was like, I'm lacking something, I'm bored, I'm lonely. Maybe if I go on these sites, it'll make me feel better. And it didn't. It gave you the distraction from for your life, and you should just be out there living it. And I think that's what's more and more people are starting to do now is, and I've said multiple times, because have said to me, like, why don't you go on dating apps or something? And I was like, my person is not sitting there swiping on their phone. My
No.
out there in the world doing their thing, and I'll meet them authentically, even if I get asked out in a grocery store, because I've been asked out in a grocery store multiple times before. I've never said yes, but it does happen. And so I've been asked out in a coffee shop. Like, so I really truly do think that whatever you're putting out to the world, you have to just keep being yourself, and you will attract what's meant for you.
Yeah, what's meant for you is meant for you. No one can take it away. So I think you just have to hold on to the belief that a good guy will come along, or a good man will come along, and know that whatever you desire in life, and knowing your identity as well, and knowing the characteristic of the people that you want to date, and understanding your values as well, and not compromising, because there are people that they know exactly what they want, and then they go on date and they'll start, okay, I can live without that one, I can live without that one. Like
Mhm.
if I'm a Christian, if I date someone who does not agree with my Christian values, so that means I'm actually dating argument. So you have to date someone who understands who you are, who unapologetic, not gonna judge you. Like myself, I like studying. I like doing things. I like putting myself out there. So I don't need somebody that is gonna knock me and say you don't need to do that. You need someone that support you that journey. Whatever you do, wherever you go, you need someone that is alignment. I asked my stepdad, I said, why did you marry to my mom? He was like, the guy was giving it all to me. And I was like, whoa, 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 stepdad. I was like, dad, hold on. He was like, if she wasn't these qualities, no, sir, I would not have married your mom. And I asked my dad the same thing. Why did you marry to my stepmom? And he was giving me all, and I was like, oh, you guys are too much. But now I understand that they were like, you can't marry someone that is not aligned. My dad was very educated anyway. So he was like, I needed someone that understand my life and understand my journey. And so I think that is really, really important to actually uh, work with someone that aligns with you, that get you. And when you do that, unapologetic, God will stand with you because He knows that you're not settling for less. You're settling for what you want, and He will not give you a man that He knows that that man will not treat you right. But sometimes there are some experiences when we go through life, they don't work the way we wanted. It's a lesson. What have we learned in that? And then we have to take that lesson as education and start educating others. And when we do choose next time, we choose people right. So I think that is really, really important. For me, I used to put on the personality, Amanda. Now I don't. I got no time for nonsense. Pretend to be something that I'm not. I don't have time for that.
Well, that's just it, right? You don't have time to be fake. And I think one of
Yeah.
the best things I know about the most authentic people in my life are that they show up unapologetically themselves. And I think that should be a goal for each and every one of us, is to just show up unapologetically ourselves.
Yeah, it's really important to show up as yourself, because when you pretend and you fake it, and
Mhm.
then the true you comes up after 6 months, and the guy will be like, or the woman will be like, whoa, 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 man, that's not the woman that I met, or that's not the guy that I've met. So I think it's nice. But for me, because I look naughty and things like that, so I have to tell the guy, listen, I'm not bad. Yes, like playfulness, I was born with it. So because every time the person, when I meet someone, they always say later or 3 months later, I thought you were a bad girl. So I'm thinking, why? I'm like, but that's my personality. I don't have to fake, because some people they want to fake who they are. So I'm like, I don't have to fake my personality. I don't have to fake who I am. I just have to be me. You take me as I am, or you don't.
Mhm.
So I think all those things, they are really, really important. And also, when you date someone, be the person that chooses them, not wanting them to choose you. Choose them yourself. Have you chosen them yourself? Even if they have chosen you, have you said yes in your heart? Are they aligning with you? I think that's really important. It's 5 minutes past two, Amanda. And any words of encouragement,
Yeah,
please?
I think so much of it is what you put out comes back to you, and just really think about what it is that you're putting out to the world, and are you viewing and taking time each day to see the joy in your life, and then more joy will come into all areas of your life. And I really think that's a great way to live.
Yep, for me, I say prepare for marriage before it arrives. Use your single season to grow spiritually, emotionally, financially, personally. Become the kind of person you hope to marry or you hope to meet. And that is the line Amanda was tapping into that a lot.
Mhm.
So become that person. If you say, I want to marry this person, I want to marry this person, are you that kind of a person yourself? Because
Mhm.
if you are aligned with it, then the relationship will work. But if you're not aligned, and also no judging people, guys, because God has a way of bringing people into your life. I always say to people Pastor Henry's pastor, the head of the pastor of his church, when he met his wife, he was nobody, and his wife was someone out there, but she accepted him. But it turns out he was an angel that was coming to make them successful. Now they're billionaires basically. But when she met him, he was nobody, but he was educated, and he was willing to take his life to the next level. So what I'm saying is, guys, don't date these people that want you to look after them. That person has to be wanting change in their lives, hungry for success. That's what I mean. And when you are hungry for success, you build empires. So may God bless you guys. Go to our website. If you are looking for coaching, we do here giving you free content, by actually we are coaches. So you can go to the website and sign up if you need coaching. Um, and send us a message. We have different coaches. Amanda is on the website. I'm on the website. You can pick the coach that is aligned with your values. And also follow us on all our social media handles. Please, may God bless you. I will see you guys tomorrow. Amanda will see you. Are you here next week?
Yeah, next week I will be, but then the week after
After, because you're going away.
I might be gone for like the whole month of August, basically. But yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.